guys, Chris here from metabolicmen.com, where we bring you 100% research-backed health advice. Today joining me is Tim Berzins, and Tim is a metabolism and thyroid expert. He's going to help give us some advice today, 5 tips on how to really jumpstart your metabolism, how to get your metabolic rate up nice and high so you can enjoy a good amount of food, you'll be full, feel good, sleep well, all the benefits that come from being healthy and hormonally balanced.
Yeah, and that's really the key is, hormonal balance overall and everything. So, let's just jump right in. The first one is eating more salt. So a lot of times, people say to eat low salt diets. They think it's bad, it raises your blood pressure and stuff like that. But in reality, your blood pressure only raises a few points initially when you switch to a high salt diet. But after that, it doesn't really raise blood pressure at all. But more importantly, it's been super associated with longer lifespans. When people cut salt short, it's inevitably associated with more death, or a sooner death, earlier death, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, something that most people don't even realize is that literally your nervous system communicates via salts.
Yeah, exactly.
Electrolyte signaling. There's with magnesium, calcium, potassium, and sodium are vital for nervous system, neural signaling in general. It's what your body, they're resources that your body pulls upon to keep you healthy and to you actually see there are a lot of neurodegenerative disorders associated with low mineral content.
Oh yeah.
Where people have and this is something that we talked about in another video, where people are actually having, because we're preached to so much to drink flat water and so much water, people actually have hyponatremia effects where they're literally just flushing these minerals out of their body.
Yeah, exactly, which is just terrible, not only for metabolism, but for general health and mental health as well, like you were just saying.
And even a lot of cramping in the gym is a good sign that you probably have an issue with that. Yeah.
And when I was in the worst state of metabolism, I would be cramping in the gym all the time, especially my calves. Sometimes my feet would just in the middle of the night.
Yeah, legs, feet. Yeah, if you have Charlie horses in the middle of the night, you want to. Charlie horses, for those of you who don't know, it's basically when your whole leg seizes up and you just can't move. And you're sleeping, and then just all of a sudden you're just jolt out of your sleep. You're like, wow, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, so that might be a warning sign. So yeah, eat more salt. And what kind of salt? People are probably going to ask in the comments, should they have the Himalayan salt or that sea salt, Aztec sea salt? What's the best?
I like experimenting with different salts just because they taste better. I want to try to see if there's any benefit to them. For the most part, I haven't really noticed too much of a benefit, just they taste better. Yeah. That's really the big thing.
Yeah, Aztec sea salt, that stuff is amazing.
That stuff's really good. Pink Himalayan's really good. So at that point, it's really just preference. I'd play around with it and kind of see, if you like one better than the other or anything like that. But as far as salt goes, sodium is sodium, so it's going to help you either way. And then, so the second point is actually related to sodium, and that is not diluting your fluids in your body too much by drinking too much water or drinking too much fluid in general. People with a low metabolism, when your temperature is really, really low, you have a very low tolerance for water. That means that if somebody is, super low metabolism and they drink even just one glass of water, sometimes that can cause their hands and feet to freeze up, which is indicating that their blood sodium is low and the stress response has been activated. So, someone who's metabolically healthy, their body temperature is higher, they're sweating more through their skin, and so they can drink a lot more water without peeing every 5 seconds like somebody who was hypothyroid would. Yeah. And they can do that without turning on the stress response because their hormones are balanced, their minerals are balanced, and they just have more stability overall.
So what do you advise people drink if they're hypothyroid?
So usually I try to stay away from fluids, just throughout the day. If you're someone who carries a water bottle with you and sips on it all day, try to get away from that habit. But with meals and things like that, if you're going to be drinking, I actually really like recovery beverages like Gatorade or Powerade. They have sodium in them. They have a little bit of potassium, so they help to replenish those minerals. And they also have some sugar in it too. So it's actually a pretty metabolic drink. And if you want to make it even more metabolic, one thing I do is add a little extra salt to it, because the original formula for Gatorade, the rehydration beverage, was higher in salt. And then they switched that around, made it higher in sugar and lower in salt to make it more commercially taste better and more better for the mainstream and everything.
About put some salt in orange juice, or
you can do salt and orange juice. That one's great as well. Salt and milk, anything. Yeah. Really, you'd be surprised what tastes good with salt in it. Even like coffee would taste pretty good when you put a little bit of salt in it. So don't shy away from that. Just feel free to experiment with any kind of beverage. Just sprinkling a little bit in and seeing how it tastes.
Yeah, and I mean, people might think this stuff is crazy, of drink sugary drink. People literally, a lot of people think, they're like, what the fuck is this is insane. But we both encourage you to check out Ray Peat. he's a pioneer in thyroid research, and this guy has so much research backing up a lot of these ideas. And he has personally, Ray Peat, you know, is like through all of his forums and everything. You look at on the, kind of the fan forums or the enthusiast forums, people heal thyroid issues following this advice. So it's not just bullshit. This is legit.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stories in the forums. People even increasing testosterone to crazy levels as well.
Yeah, with like very high carb stuff.
Yeah, actually that leads us straight into the next point, which is eating more carbs and sugar.
There we go.
Yeah, carbs, like we've talked about in previous videos, carbs are really good for shutting down the stress response, turning on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for, you know, rest, relaxation, better digestion, stuff like that. So it helps you move away from the stress metabolism towards the higher metabolism, which is the recovered resting metabolism. So eating more carbs is really important, but sugar is also really important because fructose is actually really pro-metabolic. The cool thing about this is that a lot of people who are hypothyroid have poor insulin sensitivity. So that means, you know, when you're eating carbs, insulin goes up and your cells aren't really responding to it. So insulin has to go even higher to try to push those carbs into your cells. The cool thing is that fructose is it doesn't rely on insulin. It actually skips the step for insulin. So it can go into the cells, start that sugar, the glucose burning machinery, so that now your cells are burning glucose more efficiently, so that the glucose that comes along with it is now absorbed better and better able to be used. Cool. Yeah, and it's pretty cool when you look at you know, the glycemic index of foods. You'll see that all the ones that contain fructose are all really low on the glycemic index, and the ones like white rice that are just pure glucose are actually really high, because you have a bigger insulin response, a bigger glycemic response when fructose isn't present.
Yeah, and eating more fruit, you're going to get a lot of good minerals in the fruit, especially stuff like boron is pretty rich in skin of fruit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and fruit obviously has tons of other micronutrients which are really important for, you know, like the B vitamins are really important for energy production and stuff like that. Yeah, so eat carbs and sugar. And then we got two more. Fourth one is avoid polyunsaturated fats. Polyunsaturated fats are just very anti-metabolic. They are very stressful for your body. They create a lot of inflammation. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that their double bonds are not very stable, that they'll easily break with heat and light. And our bodies are obviously very warm, 98 degrees, or they should be up there. And that causes those polyunsaturated fats to break apart and to create those harmful effects. So instead, stick to mostly saturated fat, things like coconut oil, butter, animal fat is fine, like beef. Stay away from really fatty cuts of things like chicken and pork, because actually the feed that the farmers give them create more polyunsaturated fats in the meat.
Grains.
Yeah, exactly, the grains. So you want to stay away from the fatty versions of those foods unless they're grass-fed, unless you know that they're treated properly the way they're supposed to be in nature, how the animal would be. And then monounsaturated fats, things like avocado and olive oil, they're okay. Don't go overboard with them, and definitely don't cook with them, but they're okay in moderation. The oleic acid has a lot of good benefits as well. And then the final last one is fixing micronutrient deficiencies, which we, you know, Chris talks about that a lot with testosterone because of how important it is. And it's really just all around healthy. All the systems in your body are kind of like reliant on your health and your micronutrient status. Yeah. And so if you're able to correct any deficiencies that you have, everything just runs smoother, everything works better, especially for metabolism. The fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, and the B vitamins are really important because the entire process of energy creation, of ATP creation in the cell, is really dependent on those B vitamins. Niacinamide is a really good one that it helps to just completely shut down cortisol and help to increase the sugar burning machinery.
Which number B vitamins?
So niacin is B3, and niacinamide is a version of that that has specific effects. Yeah, for lowering cortisol. Yeah, and so those are the 5 metabolism boosting tips.
Yeah, so do these things if you want to have a high metabolism, or if you have hypothyroid issues and you want to specifically solve those issues. Now, pretty much everything's in line with a good hormonal balanced diet in general. Do these specifically if you have these issues. Just follow this as your game plan. This is your go-to game plan, and you'll definitely see some good benefits. Also, remember to get a thermometer. You can measure and monitor this progress. Very cheap. You don't need to go to a doctor or have expensive doctor visits or anything. You can get a thermometer and use your body temperature as a gauge to measure your progress. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the Anabolic Men YouTube channel. You can go check out anabolicmen.com for tons of free info. And we will see you on the next video.
Peace.